Yeah, scoot in there. Scoot in there.
Hello.
Oh, man, it's been a lifetime since we've done this comic book show.
I don't even know what this set looks like. I'm not going to turn around. I'm not going to look in the camera over there.
Oh, you were too low. I had you too low.
Hello.
There it is.
That's what my levels sound
There
like.
it
Welcome.
is.
Hello, Wendy S. Hello, Super Mac.
Oh, my gosh. What comics are you guys reading? Let us know.
We're going to wait for you to say this.
For you to say this. So we've been missing a couple weeks. So Action Comics was new this week, right?
Hold on. We got DC, we got Marvel, we got Indie Comics.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to see what I read that was actually from this week.
Yeah, we got quite a bit to go through. I want to make sure I'm getting in the chat. I want to know what they're talking about. Oh my God, Cam Census says they're doing their first rough draft of their own comic this week.
Yay!
Congratulations, do it up. We're proud of you.
Yay!
And you know what? I hope we have a chance to read about it.
Please and thank you.
On Let's Talk Comics. That's the show where we review all the new comic books of the weeks. Sometimes when we're late, and we have to go back. Also, by the way, I'm going to plug it here.
There's screaming going on in the other room.
Guys, it's a big business here.
Yeah.
No, it's this is technically a garage. I hopped on a podcast called Drunk Poets Society to talk about Watchmen. So if you guys want to go listen to me talk about Watchmen, go over there. Also, I made a cocktail called the Dr. Manhattan. I didn't come up with it. Also, it's technically not a Manhattan. It was made with none of the ingredients of Manhattan, but it tasted like cinnamon. So that's
there
pretty
you go.
cool.
But didn't you come up with it on our fan letter?
I think you came up with the idea of it. I think you mentioned it, and I was like, I'll do it with a Manhattan, but a Manhattan is made with brown liquors.
Okay.
So then I was trying to put blue in it, and it just looked like dirty water, and I was like, it's not super good. But I did a different version of it that someone had a recipe for online, and that makes it so much easier for me because it's fun, the chemistry. It's fun to make drinks.
Ooh, the chemistry. Ooh, the chemistry. So I didn't read any Marvel books.
I can't read.
Okay, all right.
I can't read.
I didn't read any Marvel books this week.
If you're watching the video, you'll see where I'm pointing right now. I'm not going to describe it
It's not a Marvel book either, though.
No, it's not, but
it
it's
doesn't
cool.
look good.
Yeah. That one.
What did you pick up anything from Marvel?
Of course I did.
Because the Marvel book I picked up was Guardians, but that's from last week.
Of course. You crazy? Of course. You crazy? Zachary. I don't know how much you like being called. Zeral13, that's his name, because we're also friends on Pokemon.
What?
We give each other gifts, and our friendship level's going through the roof. And he mentioned that there's like 20 War of the Realms tie-ins, but there's one by Tom Taylor, so if you're going to pick one up, you should pick that one up. And I did pick it up, and it's the first time I've ever bought a tie-in for something that I actually liked.
Yes.
Just full stop. And
that's completely fair.
how about this? Here's a pitch for you.
Yes.
Thor's stuck in Jotunheim. That's where the giants are.
Thank you for clarifying that for me.
When you get to God of War, you know it like the back of your hand. It's like, well, we got to go to this realm.
Man, I'm playing God of War. It's so good.
It's so good. Sorry, I've got some trash in my throat. He's stuck there. He can't get back to Earth. So we have Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Captain America, Spider-Man, the boys.
Yeah.
Go to Jotunheim, fight giants, and go get Thor back. And they go in riding Pegasus. Pegasus. And each of them picks up a weapon from like the Asgardian arsenal. Nice. And it's a good joke. Oh, and Wolverine and Logan. Cool. Logan just puts a helmet on Spider-Man. He's like, yeah, you're the most fragile of the people you're going on this trip, so you need something. And everyone realizes that all their weapons do something. He's like, oh, does the helmet do anything? He's like, I don't know. I just gave you a helmet. Like you're a dangerous kid. You need protection. And we find out that it allows him to talk to the Pegasus, and it's very regal and it's very sweet. And there's a funeral in it, and it was very Tom Taylor knows the emotional beats, but also super fun. There were giants who were archers, and the arrows were the size of like tree trunks, and they were going through the Pegasus, and they were dying. But besides that, it was
Wolverine
really cool.
got the helmet.
No, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man got the helmet.
Spider-Man got the helmet. But I also picked up, for Marvel, I picked up that Strike Force, The Land of Giants. I picked up Agents of Atlas, which is the team from...
You're getting all the tie-ins. Why are you doing this to yourself?
No, that's what that one was.
Okay.
That's what the Spider-Man one.
Yeah, I know. But, gotcha.
That's the Spider-Man one. So that's the only reason I picked that up. Also, I picked up Agent of Atlas because they talked about how they were introducing one of the first, like, Marvel's first, like, Filipino superheroes.
Nice.
And...
it's Greg Pak, right?
Yeah. And... Nice. I like his stories, and this is one that's 3 issues, so I'm like, oh, that's okay.
Which, by the way, Sam's doing what you readers should do at home: follow the creative team.
Yeah.
Don't just pick up tie-in. I mean, you can. Maybe you enjoy it. I never have.
I tried to follow. I picked up that one tie-in where it was War of the Realms, like Journey into Mystery or something.
Yeah.
God awful, and it's Kate Bishop. It's Miles Morales, and I'm like, this should
cool
be good.
Team, but
no,
always follow the creative team. The best series I think that had the best tie-ins that I followed was actually Final Crisis, because all the tie-ins dealt with different things. They were all their own stories. Also, the creative team, I think it was because they were all buddies from 52.
Mm-hmm.
They did the tie-ins because it's like Greg Rucka, and it's like it's all solid.
I did want to say in Agents of Atlas, it's basically Marvel's like premier superhero team from Asia, and they are characters from every country in Asia.
Dope.
Like there are 30 people in this book. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Amadeus leads the team, but
Cool.
also Jimmy Choo.
Isn't Shang-Chi on the team?
Shang-Chi's on the team.
Shouldn't he be leading the team?
He is more just kind of like in the background. He's training a pupil.
Gotcha.
And the pupil like is like this young girl who's like a kung fu master. But when she puts on a mask, a giant bear, like spiritual bear, comes out, and then they're like, "Oh, that's so cool." One girl is like an ice elemental, but her eyes are different colors, like that one thing, like that one genetic thing that people have.
Yeah.
And she's also a K-pop star. And at first, I'm like, "That's fun," but when they start getting into it, like Silk's on the team too. Like,
Cool.
There's a lot of like Greg Pak's having fun, and so it's super solid. But the rest of the Marvel books, Shuri, still super fun.
Cool.
Really, like just it's heartfelt.
Miniseries are ongoing.
It's ongoing.
Okay.
Venom, Cullen Bunn. It's basically Magic Venom right now because there's 2 Venoms now. I can't. I shouldn't have picked this up. It was on one. Comixology allows you to subscribe to series that just get purchased for you, which is cool.
Yeah.
You get them at like 10 p.m. the night before, which is so you can read a few early. I needed to stop with this because I didn't want these. I wanted when Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman came back, and so it's not bad. I don't want to read this though, so that's a bummer.
It's that's the flip side of the creative. You're picking up a book and then you pick it up. And it's like, wait, this isn't the same creative team.
I don't want this.
These are fill-in issues.
And then Avengers, the main issue was super fun because it followed Gorilla Man, which I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's also from Agents of Atlas. He was from the most recent version, other than this one, of Agents of Atlas. There was a time period between Timely and when Marvel got rebranded as Marvel, that was Atlas Comics. And of course, although Jimmy Choo's a part of that, Gorilla Man's a part of that. Gorilla Man's great.
Jason Aaron loves him.
For me, he's the closest thing to like the Marvel has to like Robot Man. It's the same like vibe of just like, what is this? But yeah, he was, and so Agents of Atlas was all those Atlas characters brought on as a team. Now in War of the Realms, it sounds like they're their premier Asian team, but I'm glad Gorilla Man's around doing his thing.
Oh yeah, he's an agent of Wakanda.
Love
with
it.
Khazar.
Yeah,
He's on the team.
that's rad.
Yeah, it's very like the teams sound fun.
Yeah,
and they're mainly leading up to like this big vampire showdown with Blade being part of the Avengers.
That doesn't
and stuff.
interest me. You had me with Khazar and Gorilla Man, and now the vampire stuff.
How about this? It's tied in with an HBO miniseries right now. They shuffle off all the remaining vampires on Earth to Chernobyl because they're like, you're gonna die here. We're just gonna leave you there. But now it's a new Vampire King. It's boring, but everything with Gorilla Man, which like you only become Gorilla Man if you kill the Gorilla Man before, and then you get it. That's super cool. That was the big theme of like explaining who he is and why he's
basically
great.
A mercenary whose body is a gorilla.
It's super cool. And then finally, Salim Ahmed and I want to get the artist's name, Javier Garron. Garron for Miles Morales Spider-Man. They introduced a character named Starling who has like wings and this like cool mask. Her whole thing is like going to kill Tombstone.
Cool.
Because Tombstone killed someone she knows. But Miles, like the framing of the story is really good. Like
cool.
the Saladin is doing such a good job building out the world for Miles, and like these are his friends and new friends too. It's like, okay, the MCU took a couple, so we're gonna get like Genki's still here. He has a relationship and he's dealing with the whole like secret identity storyline.
We need to give Peter and the MCU new friends, so let's give him the Miles in the comics.
Test them out, then give them to Peter.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's just, I like that his world feels real. He has a very Ferris Bueller-esque relationship with one of the teachers where the teacher's kind of like going, he's like, Miles is trouble. I know he is. And like there was a whole like, they went to the museum for like a hip hop like exhibit they had there for like original notes from like the like Biggie and stuff. It was super cool. And they had to get back to class while dodging the teacher, looking for him through the museum. Super fun. Anyways, this issue deals with Starling. We find out is like the granddaughter of Vulture. That's
there you go. There. Okay, gotcha.
A Vulture, and their point of view was really cool. Like I genuinely really liked it. Like you can kind of maybe get vibes that he likes her, but he has a girlfriend right now. But the girlfriend like it's on the rocks. Like you're doing the classic little teen drama shit, and like, but the art's so good.
Cool.
The facial expressions underneath the mask instead of like Peter, where it's like big eyes moving, the mask kind of like crunches with his face, but it doesn't behave like a face. It behaves like a mask that's too tight on someone's head.
Yeah.
Love it. And so that's it for Marvel. Cool. Any indie books? Because we have a lot of DC we want to work through.
I did pick up a new indie book, but I didn't get a chance to read it. It was something Bones. I don't know. I've started doing the previews for you, or like 2 months ahead of time. So I'll just get stuff. I'm like, oh, cool. I guess I'm checking this out.
I'm glad Supermax reading Agents of Atlas with because the Silk is a fangirl of the K-pop star who is one of the team members, which is really cool. I'm gonna read your guys' thing, but my phone's moving slow.
Hear about Daredevil? There's gonna be a new Daredevil.
But then Chip Zdarsky retweeted, said, "No, they're not." There was a. He's like, "No, there's not."
Okay.
Yeah.
The whole solicit was like
he could be lying.
Okay.
Yeah, but he could be lying, but who knows?
All
right. We'll have to wait and see. I wanted to read your guys' thing, and there we go.
It's a little weird, Daredevil, because it's like, one, they've done it before, and every hero's done it before. Everyone, but also like Daredevil feels like it's not like Captain America where you pick up the shield, or Batman where you wear the cowl. Like it's a very specific skill set.
I'm not sure, but okay. In Marvel, mostly it's just people praising Tom Taylor.
Yeah.
By the way, the Tom King stuff is still not really clear. No one's like, I haven't seen an official press release of anything.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, we can confirm because we know people that this is happening. I'm like, that doesn't sound like anything.
Well, let's talk about last week real quick because we didn't get to check it out while you're pulling up more Discord stuff. I got to check out Naomi. I picked up this week. Art is still beautiful. And I like the story. In this most recent issue, she kind of basically catches her friend up on everything that's happened because really not a lot's happened in the fight. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's more complicated than it needed to be because their dad's an alien and their dad's got an enemy alien friend. That has nothing to do with her origin. It just is what it is. And then the actual origin of an alternate universe, and they have their own crisis, and that it feels like as if they were integrating a character from another brand that they bought. You know what I mean?
Maybe Marvel. Maybe they couldn't do Naomi over there.
Yeah, and so her whole world's backstory is really interesting. That they all got this 29. It was 29 people got superpowers, and it went bad immediately. Yeah, it went so bad immediately, and so they shuttled her off to Earth because it's like they don't say this, but it's like they've got Superman over there, so it'll be okay. But like they're superheroes. There's people that can handle it, and of course the big, ugly, crazy, over the top bad guy of her world that's literally making everything a waking nightmare over there is now over here to find her.
Super cool, and he looks awesome.
Yeah, he looks cool. I wonder if there was like a quicker way we could have gotten to this. Feels like an issue 3 reveal, not a second to last issue reveal.
It's the reverse of like when you found out Peter Parker's parents were agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because you get his origin and all his garbage, but then later we find out about the parents. Like, let's do that in reverse, and we find out that parents have garbage, but also I have garbage that I need to work through. It's not garbage, it's beautiful because Jamal Campbell's a really talented artist.
Great, and the writing is good in that the character interactions are really good, and I will say that we were talking about this before, I did Game of Thrones myself a little bit, in that the version of the story in my head that I got a little attached to, which was the idea that she's just a girl. She's not. She might be one of the most powerful beings in the DC. The way they frame it, it's like she might actually be one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe right now.
And her powers are beautiful.
I don't know what they are, but they are beautiful. Her uniform is cool.
The way it dissolved into her, and now she can just kind of manifest it whenever she wants to.
What were your thoughts on it?
I got confused. I reread a few pages, but I'm just like mainly to look at the art again. Yeah. But I was a big fan of it. Just gotta, let's see if we can wrap it up. See, and also I want to see where this character gets used in the future. I'm guessing Young Justice, just because Brian's writing that. Yeah. Maybe in Leviathan coming up. Like there could be a chance. Yeah. Or she just hangs out in her small town, and that's what that is. Like
I do hope she becomes a part. Integrated into the DC universe as a whole.
Agreed. I mean? Maybe Superman showing up in the last issue because of Corn. They always do that.
That'd be cool. That would actually make me really happy for the character that she finally gets to meet him.
Last week, though, Immortal Hulk, Daredevil, just want to give shout outs. Those are amazing. And Superman came out. And
I got it, but I haven't read it yet.
why is Action Comics so good and Superman so on the fence? Why?
I don't know, but Action Comics is really good.
It's really good. So let's just talk about this week.
Yeah, Action Comics is really good.
The Chaz and Lois, like it being undercover.
By the way, this is silly, but bear with me, because I don't particularly have, for me, an issue with representation in comics. However, when Superman's in his Chaz mode and he's in his Superman costume, it looked like me in the Superman costume, and that made me feel really good.
Oh.
That was like, and I know it's silly, but it was like, that's actually really cool. Like, so anyway, whatever. That's for what it is. But
I mean, that is cool.
Yeah, but I really liked. Oh God.
Punching the microphone. I see.
I really liked this issue, and I like that they're paying attention to, like, when they're talking about Spiral. Huntress was a part of Spiral. They remembering that, because there's moments of like, does Brian Bendis know that Leviathan already existed? No, he did. We're good. Everything's good. All that stuff counts and it matters and all that stuff. But I like what this feels like a really unique Superman threat.
Oh yeah, and teasing that they're not dead either, and you're like, what? What does that mean? I mean, they've done whatever.
Yeah.
Death of the Inhumans just did this exact storyline, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No one read it. Also, when by the way, Guardians of the Galaxy came out last week, Lockjaw showed up, and I was like, oh, they haven't done an Inhuman story in forever. It's been months now.
So having Lockjaw in the Guardians would be so cool.
Yeah.
Let's just give James Gunn Lockjaw. Like, hey, just ignore the rest of Inhumans, but here's Lockjaw.
And hey, he's a mystery.
Yeah.
You know, like,
where did he come from?
Doesn't matter. Do you care? You don't.
Nobody cares.
You have a raccoon that's talking. So why does this gigantic bulldog with a fork in its head?
Doesn't matter.
That's it.
Doesn't matter.
Shut up. That's it.
But
or Captain Marvel. You need Captain Marvel too.
Yeah,
Captain Marvel.
She got the cat.
Hanging out with the cat.
Lockjaw and the cat. That sounds like a Pet Avengers setup. I'd watch that movie.
Yes. Sorry, I'm stretching.
But yeah, it's also interesting that it also doesn't make it seem like they're okay. Like, maybe they've been wiped from existence.
It's definitely a big question mark.
Yeah.
Because why would you be doing what would you do with them?
Yeah.
Big secret organization. I do like the idea, though. It's like they described it as like tent poles in the spy community. It's like, is it? Because I don't. You should take out Shade too, because I don't even think you guys remember Shade. Like, it was a fun idea, just like all of these are fun ideas. Yeah. But no one can keep track of what these are anymore.
No.
If he's going back to Checkmate, whatever. You know, like, I think it would be kind of dumb at this point to get rid of Argus, because you started using them in the movies and the TV shows and everything. Like, to fully get rid of it, it's like right now I'm like, it's kind of dumb that you fully got rid of S.H.I.E.L.D. In the comics. It's not around anymore. I'm like, it's okay that that's still around.
It doesn't need to be exactly like the movie.
Yeah, like you can. Yeah, there's a lot of you can get rid of people in an organization. The organization isn't bad. Whatever, it doesn't matter. No, we were talking about Action Comics. Yeah, no, I just want Leviathan to start, because I feel like it's next, right?
Yeah, I think it's coming out in the next few weeks. And it's the characters that are the focus of it are some of my favorite in the whole DCU. We got Green Arrow and the Question and Lois Lane
and Manhunter. She's used in a really cool way in this issue. Was she the one talking to Dr. Bones?
Somebody with her face was talking to Dr. Bones. That was my understanding of the situation, is that somebody was using her to.
Gotcha.
Not her, but like looked like her to get in. And Dr. Bones is dead. Is he dead?
He might be dead.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. I don't know how you get to him. He's just a walking skeleton.
But. how you kill him. One else, also his skin's poison and you can't see it. So.
Oh, that's what it is? So complicated. I think maybe just get that guy off the map, because he's too complicated.
But
I haven't seen him in comics in like 20 years.
I like Event Leviathan. I like what they're setting up here. I like that it's a threat that doesn't feel like your traditional Superman threat. I'm really excited to see where this goes. A lot of potential to drop the ball.
Oh yeah.
Once you get into the event, and it's Brian Bendis and Alex Meleev, right?
Yeah, the art's beautiful so far, and it's just a fun idea for Superman. Like, why not have like a spy threat, because he's not on top of it right now. You can have like a superpowered threat, like the thing he threw into the sky, or the thing that killed. Maybe not killed Tiger.
Yeah.
Ooh, that character is super cool.
Yes.
Really would be dumb to get rid of him, even if
Yeah.
you got rid of Spiral. Like, scuttle him over somewhere else because he looks really cool.
I also like all the stuff with like Lois Lane being a competent reporter and them having conversations about like I could run this story with Amanda Waller's picture and what does that entail and what does that mean. It's like these are interesting conversations.
Also, the splash page in the beginning of every issue of Action Comics where it's like all the sticky notes and the reminders.
Story. And especially like this one was Perry White's thing, and so you kind of see like, wow, this is big and bad. This also, I think this was a joke in there. It was Batman was found shot in the neck and also stabbed in the neck. And it's just like, yeah, of course he was. Like, what's Batman doing over there?
Alfred will stitch him back up and we'll be fine.
He'll be totally fine.
Did you pick up any other DC?
Dial H.
Yes.
Which is delightful. Oh my God. When I turned the page, did you read it? When I turned the page and it's that classic 80s Vertigo cover homage.
Oh my God, it was crazy.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I really give a shit about the overarching story, but every time they're like, here to discover the backstory for this character that may never show up again, I'm all about it.
Yeah, and like, how would you describe Lolo? Like because she's like
She reminds me, the one I go directly to, and I feel like it is a style of comic, but it's the original Ecstatics. Which was Alred and I think it was not Mark Miller. It was Peter Milligan, one of the other Vertigo writers. And so it's this like early aughts.
It's early aughts skate culture for me.
Yeah.
It's this like it's pop punk.
Yeah.
With a little grunge. It's whatever you would imagine the Lords of Dogtown if they ever got a pencil or a pen or something.
They would be into.
They draw.
Also, if I was what's the main character's name? Miguel, and I woke up and that was sitting next to me, I might jump out of this. Like,
nope.
I think I'm good, man. I don't know if I need any of
this.
Living
cartoons next to me. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I'm going.
And the idea that like she's rewriting the Vertigo characters, like rewriting their stories or whatever. It's all backwards talk and like. It means nothing, you know. It's nonsense.
It's a good satire of those comics of where it's like, really, what's going on here?
Yeah, and it's like, is this deep or are you just trying to confuse us? Which is great.
Yeah,
the art was perfect too.
100%.
It's Neil Gaiman, but it with extra acid.
Which the thing that blows my mind that I would imagine has to be one of the more challenging aspects is when the two are fighting each other and how you integrate those art styles with each other. Having the two different, because they did it the last one too with that like old school manga character. I forget who he fought.
It was a giant mech. It was a giant mech versus a donkey.
Incorporating all that
Dragon
stuff.
Ball.
Man, I love it. It makes me so happy.
And Dial H
is so good.
The backstory of like I had to look it up. The original Dial H character is the operator.
Oh, I'm interested. Who apparently the Speed Force is coming for him.
Which one?
He's at the end. He's like the Speed Force is coming. I can sense the and so I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a new addition. Like maybe whatever's going on with the H dial is connected to the Speed Force. Which that's something. If that's the case or whatever, it's something that these Wonder Comics are doing. They're integrating classic DC stuff like Superman and the Speed Force in unique and interesting ways. That makes me really happy. Wonder Comics is so good. They're really killing it.
Yeah, I'm super on board with just every single one of their comics so far. I hope they get like a solid run. I hope we get to really live with these characters and see how they grow.
And it's funny,
change.
The one that I was most on the paper excited for, Young Justice, which is still really solid and really good. It's all the new stuff. It's the new characters. It's not that the Wonder Twins aren't new, but like this
version of them
is new, and like Dial H and Naomi.
Did we talk about Red Flag on here?
Red Flag? No, we didn't. Red Flag is so funny.
It's so funny.
That issue, and also Zan's view on being friend zoned is so refreshing. I do think maybe you shouldn't hang out with those people.
You don't have
to. Yeah. But his perspective on it, I think, is really nice.
It's so. It correct my basically it's self-preservation where it's like, oh, this is a kind of a gross situation, so I could just be friends with them if I want to, but I don't have to emotionally take on any of this stress
stuff. He's like, I'm only 17. It's kind of, in a way, he's kind of like Jerry and from Parks and Rec, where he's so positive it doesn't matter that other people don't respect him or take care of him, because his positivity, you don't feel bad for him. His positivity's so good.
And also he doesn't this situation doesn't matter to him. Other stuff does.
I'm just gonna go hang out with my monkey.
I have my monkey, I have my sister. We work at the Hall of Justice. Do you think I care about this?
I love
also,
it, man.
Villains, of course, are meeting at a Ramada Inn, and
Yes.
they're having a meeting there.
Yes, and also Polymath's backstory is tragic. It's so sad.
It's starting to get sadder and sadder, but it's also great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. God damn it.
All the Wonder comic stuff are so solid. Definitely check them out.
I think that's my favorite Wonder comic, but it's all a very
Wonder
tight.
Twins? Yeah,
it's a tight
tough.
race.
It's tough.
For the rest of DC, I also picked up Silencer because it's 17. There's going to be 18 issues total.
Silencer should show up in Event Leviathan.
It really, though,
Yeah,
really. And
she really should.
And Brian could do some really cool stuff with the character.
100%. Lois Lane and Silencer hanging out, I'd be into it.
So, and the story's wrapping up. That's all I really need to say about that. Justice League Dark, Mordru, which is...
I read the second to last issue. So the Lords of Order are taking out everything, basically. I like that they all have titles, like Dr. Fate, but it's all like synchronicity, stuff like that. I think that's cool.
Also, they're all people we know that were forced to wear. Like, one of them's Xanadu, but
interesting.
As far as we know, I know that one of them's Xanadu, and she can't take off. They can't take off the helmet, like how Kent Nelson can't take off the helmet.
That's messed up.
Yeah, it's super messed up.
I'd like to see.
And the melty mask is really cool.
I think it'd be cool to see how the Lords of Order are not necessarily the best. It'd be interesting to see Chaos. I think you could do a really interesting comic of Chaos, and they're not necessarily evil. You know what I mean? Like,
well, this new issue is dealing with that. It's dealing with it in a way where Mordru is like the agent of Chaos for like his main antagonist is Dr. Fate. So, but Mordru, the way they write him, it's so when you find out where he's hiding, because it's like not hiding, but it's like you're clearly hiding, but he won't see it that way. And his magic is so vicious.
Nice.
I'll say one character's full mouth and nose disappear into a gigantic crater on their face, and they can't, but it seals up and they can't breathe while he's talking to them. So it's like, you're gonna need to listen. It's so scary. There's the setup, and also the Lords of Order do something pretty shitty to a lot of people, but they're like, these are the rules.
Oh yeah, because they at the end of the last issue was like, hey, we'll just let you lead normal lives if you give up magic, and it's like, actually, that sounds. And especially when you see the collage of characters, like one of them's Dead Man, it's like, so in.
You should, but there's
always the fine print.
It's even then they're like, I'll just say that some lands only exist because people know about them, and if you don't, all of those people are dead.
Cool.
Yeah. So you can't. Like, there's not a right answer to this.
Cool.
And, super good. Justice League Dark is the best thing to come out of Dark Knight's Metal.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
it is
fair.
the best thing.
That's fair.
Flash Year One, he accidentally ran to the future, saw Future Flash. Joshua Williams' Future Flash costume is the coolest. Okay. And the turtle took over. Okay. And he's, like, sucking speed out of people. Like, if he's listening to people's heartbeats in a room, he'll go over, he's like, you're too excited, and he'll just take it out of them. And it's like, ooh, that's a nightmare. That's cool. Also, it's such a good setup where it's like, Turtle, he was the most patient out of everyone. Like, after all the other villains were dead, he stepped up, and no one can really get to him. No one can. That's cool. No one can stop him.
That's cool. I dig that.
That's good. And that's it. Cool. Is there anything from the week before that I want to mention?
I've been reading Criminal, which I'm bummed. There was apparently a signing at my comic shop with Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips, and I was at that Brightburn screening.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know the signing. I wouldn't have shown up anyway. But Criminal is so good, so good. They're even the last arc, which was like 3 or 4 issues. They're releasing it was so well received. They're like rushing a collection of just that with some added stuff. And with the added stuff, I was like, damn it, I might pick that up.
You might have to. I will say, Spider-Man Life Story issue 3 came out last week. And
are they in the 80s now?
They're in the 80s.
Okay.
And it's dealing with the black suit in a really cool way, and just Peter aging and what they've set up with like Gwen before and MJ and what it means to be like a superhero but also married. Like, you shouldn't be a superhero if you're married. Just full stop. If you wanted to be there for your family, like, that's not the way to do it. Yeah. You're intentionally, like, for no reason endangering your life, and you don't have to. Like, in our movies and stories and stuff, there's always justification. Yeah. But on paper, you should stop. Also, there's chock full of 80s references to other comics, like Kraven's Last Hunt and Watchmen. There's just look out for people with signs. There's a pick a guy that has like, and it's Rorschach. He's hidden right there.
That's cool.
The story's heartbreaking, but also the tease of what Venom could be moving forward. It's cool. It's not Eddie Brock, but it's somebody else, and you're like, that's. Bad News Bears. And there's already a cover out for the 10s. So there's going to be the 90s next, the aughts, and the 10s, whatever we call this decade in the future. But that's and it looks like that's the end of the story, which is cool. That's not life's hard. He's dedicating himself to something that's going to end up being tragic. That is the superhero life. But gang, we're going to be back in just about 30 minutes. We got to go get some lunch really quick, and then we're going to talk about Brightburn, and it's going to be a review, spoiler-free and whatnot, and also other evil superhero stuff that you should, I don't know, maybe get its own movie, its own TV show. You'll see. We'll get there in just a second.
Road of Bones.
Thanks,
Danny M. That was the indie comic I picked up, but I haven't read it yet.
There you go. It's going to be a fun one. Anyone reading Flash Year 1, I'm picking it up, and I have not started. Danny M., you'll enjoy it. Josh Williamson, this and Flash War, the best of the best. Also, if anyone can explain the Tom King stuff to me with him leaving Batman, I have no idea. I don't think he is. He might be. Who knows?
Let's get him on the show.
Let's bring him on the show. You behind a Patreon wall. You explain what's happening. But yeah, gang, we love you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.